Welcome everybody to an express video of the Tevalis point of sale application. The Tevalis point application resides within our ecosystem and sits within the on-premise technology. Today's demonstration, we're going to go through some of the core functionality you'd expect to receive within our POS. If we start on the front screen here, you'll see that we have the ability to apply a customer logo. This will tailor the POS screen to your particular business. We also have the keypad here for logging into the system. Each user would have a unique code to get into the system, and this will ultimately also allow you to restrict that user to certain high-level or low-level actions. So if we log in, we can log in with a keypad. That takes me straight into the sales screen. We can also log on using biometric reader, or we can use a magnetic card reader. From here, if I have a transaction open already, we can see the transaction from my last sales. This can also allow you to float as a floating clerk between Epos systems. Two ways to process a sale in the Tevalis solution is straight away using the transaction window. I can add items. And then I can finalize those for kitchen dispense and bill dispense. One of the core features in Tevalis is the ability for floor plan management. We can have multiple sales areas. Within those sales areas, we can have tables. And within those sales areas, we can have a visual design of the floor itself. You'll see here we actually have 4 active open tables currently. We also have 2 of them that are flashing because they are active. 2 of them that are brown that require the table to be cleaned. These are called table statuses. We have the feature down here for ability to clean the table. And this is very prevalent right now during COVID era to ensure that the tables are sterilized, ready for the next guests. Once we've cleaned the tables, it will make them active to then open for new guests. We'll do that. Open table 6. We're going to go through and make an order. We're going to go to beverage. We'll go to white wine. We now have modifiers measures. We have the measures here that are available on bottle, large glass, small glass, or spritzer. If we're at a bottle, we can go through and actually apply some messages. So I want 2 glasses and a water jug with the bottle. We'd also like a spirit with a mixer, and we'd also like a bottle of beer. We're then going to add some food. So we'll go to starters. We're going to add 2 starters, and then we're going to add 2 mains. And then I'm going to add a course status to say starters away. That has now changed the table to a pink color. We can then go through and assume that the guests have consumed their starters, and we're going to add mains away. Each time we do this, it's notifying the kitchen to prepare and send out the next course. If we're happy at this point, rather than going back into the actual transaction window, we can perform some table activities. So from here, I could go print the bill direct. The bill's now been printed, the table's gone red, and it assumes we're waiting for payment. If we then finalize the bill, we can then finalize it with different tenders that would be programmed during the project phase. On this particular occasion, they're going to pay cash. It would tell me the change to be tendered, and the bill's now finalized. And we now go back to the status of waiting table cleaned, and we can clean the table. One of the key features is the ability to transfer tables. So I can transfer table 10. And I can transfer it to the destination of 12 because there's a larger party, and we may need to notify bar dispense and kitchen. At this point, not only does it transfer the table, it's now waiting for the previous table to be cleaned again. So we can now come back in and clean the table. If we now open table 12, we now have the original bill running. At this point in time, we can add more items. So we're going to add some desserts. And we're going to go to the next status, desserts away. And we can now see again that the table status has changed. Another feature within the Tevalis Epos system includes product information. This changes the screen color to purple, and from here I can go in and find an item, and it will tell me the nutritional, the allergen, and the suitability profile. I can also print this out for guests. This also pulls this information into our mobile ordering application called Tevalis. Another feature in the Tevalis Epos system is voiding items. So on this particular occasion, the customer has requested that we remove the ribeye from the bill. We may actually want to apply a discount, or we may want to void it. And when it asks us, has it been prepared? If we say yes, it will assume the item's been consumed or wasted. With a void or any of our high level actions, we always request that reasons are applied. So on this occasion, we could say the customer was unhappy with the food. Another feature within the Tevalis Epos system is the ability to view table activity. This allows you to see the waiter or waitresses that have been processing the food and beverage items and the times that those have been processed against the table. Another feature within the Tevalis Epos system is the ability to record and redeem deposits. If we record a deposit, we go to the deposits feature. We add the guest's name. We can add a phone number if required. With reservation date. The reservation date is important if you're pulling our deposit liability report. We can add a reservation time. The deposit amount and the tender. The tender is relevant for when we do an execution of the Z read, because it'll assume that you've tendered that for this day of that amount. If we need to, we can then redeem that against a bill. It will automatically apply the £50 redemption. The balance would then be cashed off. Two last areas of the Tevalis Epos system are our service functions, which would be tailored based on your client requirements. Service functions are typically actions that waiters or waitresses can perform. So things like repeating orders, seating messages, doing a product search. For example, if we have a large catalogue of products, it can search for anything that contains the words red, and then from there I can actually sell the item. Other service functions include the ability to add vouchers, or the ability to do things like cash out. The final area of the Epos demonstration today is on manager functions. These are high-level actions, and you'd be required to have that level of access. And again, as I mentioned earlier, this would be based on your user groups. But from here, we can apply discounts, refunds, we can add a percentage to the bill, we can run the system into training mode, we can set item stock levels, we can discount by product type, edit attendance logs. Another area of the Tevalis Epos system, within manager functions, we have the system journal. The system journal can be run by any start or end date. You can then allocate a user and allocate an action. So I can look at all finalized bill by one particular user in the system.